Why am I so out of breath? I could work out for 2 hours and I talk for 5 minutes and I'm like,
Cause I think I'm falling in love. I think I'm falling in love.
okay, so I didn't really know what I wanted to do today, and I was like, I really haven't done a Q&A in quite some time. So I figured, why not, right? There's a couple of good ones that I've seen so far. It would have probably turned into me rambling about them anyway, like just in a normal vlog. So let's just go ahead and start it up. The first one that I really liked was the biggest fitness myth that you hear all the time. Biggest fitness myth that I hear all the time is that lifting weights will make you bulky. And it's not true. I've been trying to get bulky for like 3 years, guys, all right? It's really hard. You don't just like pick up a weight and all of a sudden your muscles like explode and you're just jacked. It doesn't happen that way. In order to grow new muscle tissue, you have to eat in a caloric surplus and you have to train hypertrophy and you have to, you know, structure your training for growth and strength and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't, not like you just go into the gym one day and you do some bicep curls and then you're like, oh my God, I look like a man. Especially for women, I know that's like, you know, a very common thing. A lot of girls are like, oh, I don't want to lift because I don't want to look bulky. And it's just like, happen. This is a common question I get all the time about how to meal prep on a budget. And actually meal prepping, if you do it the right way, it's not that expensive. Like if you think about going out to eat, you get like a small little meal for like $7.99 or $8. You can buy that pork loin that I bought in the other video. That whole entire pork loin was like $5 or something, and then a couple potatoes. Like you have to just buy things in their purest and rawest form. Like sometimes I get a little bougie.
It's bad and bougie.
And I buy the pre-chopped tomatoes, which is like stupidly expensive. I could just chop normal tomatoes myself, but lazy. So just buying in bulk, buying in its purest form, like obviously getting bagged rice over the 90-second packages that I always buy. But I think also going to places like Costco and couponing, and then knowing there's like different apps in the app store that you can download that tell you when certain things are on sale. Also Target, if you download Cartwheel, they have like different weekly ads and stuff that they run, and you can scan everything that you're buying on your phone, and it pretty much keeps track of every single thing that you buy, and it will recommend sales to you and send you little notifications and stuff. I think it's great. I definitely recommend it, especially if you shop at Target, and you know, just buying the cheapest option, obviously, like the generic stuff over the name brand stuff. How to apply the 80-20 rule when it comes to balancing healthy foods with fun foods. Gosh, how to apply that rule? I think I set goals to try to hit my micronutrients first. So like I kind of start out my day, you guys always see me make breakfast with like spinach and tomatoes and peppers and some type of, you know, vegetable. And then in my post-workout shake, I always put spinach. And then with my lunch, I'll have some type of vegetable, maybe like asparagus or green beans or something like that. And then like towards the end of the day when I know that I start craving like Oreos, for some reason, just the birthday cake golden Oreos, dude, they get me every time. That's like my weakness right there. I know that I crave that, so I just plan that into my day and I have 2 after dinner. I think that's kind of a good way to apply the 80-20 rule. Paul asks, what is your next tattoo gonna be, and any plans on sleeving your other arm? No. Okay, this is probably the most frequently asked question. I am not going to do a video on my tattoos for a couple of reasons. One, some of them are pretty personal stories and I just don't really feel like getting into all of them. 2, I actually dislike a lot of my tattoos. I got them when I was super young, super naive, and I wish I could go back in time and take some of them off, and I just don't really like talking about that point in my life, to be very honest. And no, there's no plans to sleeve my other arm. I'm going to leave this one bare, and I don't think I have any plans on any more tattoos for a very, very, very long time. I'm keeping everything as is. This is a good question. I kind of mentioned this the other day. How do you balance CrossFit and weightlifting? I flip-flop back and forth. I think around the CrossFit Open, I tend to do obviously more CrossFit. When we have competitions, CrossFit competitions, my training is more endurance training, Metcon training, gymnastics, all that kind of volume stuff. And then when I have a meet plan, I kind of transition over into weightlifting. My volume decreases, mostly strength-based, and I kind of go through different cycles throughout the year. I feel like it just helps me stay more motivated and enjoy my training, because if I do one thing for too long, I get burned out. Last year, I did so many damn CrossFit competitions that I was like, I never want to do a CrossFit competition again, I got so burnt out. And so I try not to do that now. I think going through like a period of time with weightlifting and, you know, having the end result be to meet like you guys just saw, and now I'm kind of switching more over into CrossFit while still maintaining weightlifting, just kind of doing them both because I genuinely enjoy both. What are your plans after you get your next degree? I don't know. I think I could kind of see myself working in maybe like a clinical setting, maybe, you know, for like nutrition or dietetics, something like that, where I could maybe help like morbidly obese people, or even like teaching kids. I think that would be so cool. Which, by the way, super fun announcement, I'm now gonna be teaching the CrossFit for kids at the gym in the town next to me, which is where my friend Danielle, you guys have seen her in a couple of videos. She pretty much runs that gym. And so I'm gonna be teaching the kids class Tuesdays and Fridays starting next week, which I'm so excited about because I love teaching the kids. I think that that's something that is not really like taught or implemented to young children, especially with nutrition. I mean, we're all guilty of it. Think of the things that we used to eat when we were kids, like straight up garbage. And obviously, you know, there's a time and place for that stuff. Like you can't expect a child to eat like, you know, an athlete, but I think it's something that could be taught to kids at a young age so that they can implement it as they grow up and maybe not struggle with their weight. Oh my gosh, I can go on and on and on. So I think that's kind of where my passion lies. Something maybe with children, dietetics, nutrition, maybe being a teacher, I don't know, something. I haven't fully decided yet, but that's just kind of where my train of thought is going. So I'm really excited to see what I can come up with after I graduate. So what are your favorite things to do for recovery, such as deep tissue massage, Epsom salt bath, rolling out, blah, blah, blah. Number one is gonna be deep tissue massage. I love deep tissue massage. And we do like hot stone, deep tissue, stretching. I have a lot of knots in my lats too. So I always have to get like my lats done, which is really painful. If you haven't ever had your lats deep tissued, it's intense. I'd have to say deep tissue is number one. Number two would be Epsom salt bath or sauna, something where you get really hot and you can feel like the toxins releasing. I like that. Also hot yoga. Hot yoga I feel like you can use for recovery too if you don't do a super intense class. Just like a normal stretching yoga class is awesome. And of course, foam rolling and the cross balling. I try to do that as much as possible. And like when I'm sitting on the couch at night, I'll get up and I'll get on the floor and I'll do pigeon stretch and everything for my hips because my hips are like really tight all the time. And just try to make sure I'm stretching all the time and the cross balling and all that kind of stuff. So I have to say those are like my go-to recovery.
What is the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? Say hi.
The first thing that I do when I wake up in the morning is go to the bathroom. To be very honest, I brush my teeth, I wash my face, I weigh myself, I check my Fitbit app to see how my sleep was, and then I eat. I always eat. I am a morning eater. I don't know how people skip breakfast. No idea.
Hi, Amanda. So my question is, what is the best app to use if I want to look like I have a big booty on Instagram?
Stacey, if you're not following Stacey, you don't know, there is an app called Facetune where you can pretty much distort yourself and like push your butt out, squeeze your hips in and stuff, and you gotta keep your eye out for that. Keep your eye out for people that do that and sell booty plans.
Hey Amanda, I'm actually getting ready to go to my first CrossFit workout tonight, and I was wondering if you had any advice for me. Like, I'm just afraid of looking like an idiot because I've never done.
Great question. I get this all the time for people who are starting CrossFit and they don't want to look stupid and they're nervous, and I just want to let you know that we have all been there. I don't know if I've mentioned this. I think I did in my transformation video. I'm also going to leave that link to that video in the description box because that's like one of my favorite videos I've ever done. It literally takes you through my entire journey of CrossFit from my very first day to at that moment when I recorded the video. But it's so awesome because I remember when I first started CrossFit, I drove to the CrossFit gym. I pulled in the parking lot and I saw all these fit people. They were doing farmer carries with kettlebells outside, and most of the people had like no shirts on. They were so ripped, and I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I drove away. I literally did that like 3 times before I actually went into the gym for the first time. So it's normal to feel nervous and not sure what you're doing because it's like a new thing. You've never tried it before. It's not just like going into the gym and wandering aimlessly in a Gold's Gym or something. It's different. I would definitely say, number one, the CrossFit community is very, very welcoming, and no one's gonna make fun of you. Like, no one's gonna be like, oh, this is a new person. It's not how it is. The new people are always there. Ask anybody, guarantee you they'll be super happy to help you with anything you have questions about. You really just have to like embrace the beginning stages of it, know that you're not gonna be good at everything, know that things are gonna feel weird, but as long as you're trying, that's all that matters. And it's like, I think truly just accepting that and going in there with like an open mind is gonna be your best bet. Instead of being like negative or getting upset if you can't do something, you just have to set your goals, go in there, show up, do what you can do, and focus on being better. And that's pretty much what all of us did, and that's how we ended up where we are. So much footage already.
I have a question. Why do you not like the assault bike?
Ronnie, get on my Snapchat. I don't like the assault bike because it hurts my quads, my baby deer legs. I'm gonna end the Q&A with this question because it's something I get asked all the time. Do I macro cycle or carb cycle? A lot of times when you think about carb cycling, we think about like the bodybuilding world where they do like 4 low days and then 1 high day and then 3 low days or something like that, where it doesn't really have a correlation to their training. That's the reason why I don't carb cycle. The thing that I do is I have 3 different sets of macros, 1 for high volume training, 1 for low volume training, and 1 for rest day. The reason being is because on a high volume day, like yesterday for example, in the morning, I had a 2-hour session that consisted of strength, gymnastics, and a little bit of a Metcon. And then in the evening, I had the CrossFit class, which was just pure like cardio and like, I mean, you guys saw my hands in the last video, just like a lot of volume. I burned a ton of calories that day, so I need more energy, I need more food. So my carbs are significantly higher, my fat's a little bit lower because obviously fat doesn't provide that type of energy that carbohydrates do. And then conversely, on a rest day, I don't need 320 grams of carbs when I am sitting my ass on that couch right there doing nothing but watching Food Network. So on that type of day, my carbs are a little bit lower, my fats are a little bit higher, still generally around the same caloric amount. It's just that I don't need all the energy in the form of carbohydrates that I do on a high volume training day like yesterday. That is the end of this Q&A. Thank you guys so much for watching and submitting your questions. They were awesome questions. And let me know if you like Q&A videos, if you want me to do more of them. It's always a super easy video for me to do, to just like pop on and ask you guys questions on Instagram or Snapchat because it's just like super quick, and those of you that are on can send me some good questions. So thank you again, and that is going to conclude this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so very much, and that's wrapping today up. I hope you guys are having an awesome day, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye!